Welcome, everybody. We are live here in Warfield, Kentucky. JJ Pruitt, Darryl McCoy. JJ, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. The weather's a little bit better. I didn't have to bring my rain jacket today, so
Without your rain jacket, your trusty rain jacket, JJ.
Got to stay protected.
Yeah. As we're sitting here, guys, hit that like and share button. We got a fabulous show in store for you guys. We got Coach Matthew Perry coming on at 8:30. We got Jackson Estridge coming on at 9:15. JJ, today is July 31st. What's happening this day in history?
On this day in history, in 1971, Apollo 15 astronauts James B. Irwin and David Scott first used the four-wheel battery-powered lunar roving vehicle to extensively explore the moon's surface, which is pretty cool. In 2006, because of health problems, longtime Cuban leader Fidel Castro handed over provisional power to his brother, I think it's Raul.
Yeah.
The latter served as the country's acting president until officially assuming the post in 2008. And then lastly, in 2012, American swimmer Michael Phelps captured his 19th career Olympic gold medal when he helped the U.S. team win the 4x2 meter freestyle relay.
Yeah, that was huge. Michael Phelps, one of the most notable Olympians of all time. Americans really got behind him, and I can remember, all of America was captured whenever he done that. That was one of the first times I've seen so many Americans glued to an Olympic.
Yeah, I think that he finished with about 23 career gold medals or something like that's unheard of.
Yeah, it's insane.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Also, JJ, this day in history, the Charles Whitman, the student ex-Marine, fired down from the clock tower at the campus of the University of Texas at Austin, killing 14 people and wounding 31 others. One who died a year later from complications from it. It was one of the worst mass murders in U.S. history.
Jesus.
He was up in the clock tower and basically sniping people off.
Wow.
Yeah. So nobody knew where he was coming from, but a horrible moment in U.S. history. Also, want to mention Mike Tyson. Iron Mike defeated Tony Tucker to become the unanimous heavyweight champion in all three conferences, the WBA, the WBC, and the IBF.
Oh, so undisputed. Okay.
Undisputed.
Yeah, unanimous, undisputed, whatever you want to call it. He was the top dog.
Yep, he was the top dog. So that rounds out this day in history. JJ, celebrity birthdays.
Okay. So the first person we want to wish a happy birthday to is Lil Uzi Vert. He's a pretty big rapper. Mark Cuban.
Okay.
Zach Brown, country singer.
Zach Brown?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, yeah. Country fried, or was it something about chicken and...
It said he was a country singer. But,
he sings a song.
The cold beer.
Cold beer on a Friday night.
That's him.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, I've heard that song so many times. AJ Green. I think Cincinnati Bengals, right?
Yeah.
And then last but not least, we talk about this all the time, and you say that he's not a superhero, but my main man Wesley Snipes, also known as Blade, his birthday's today. So happy birthday, Blade! You're my all-time favorite childhood superhero, and I need you to make another film.
JJ, he is not a superhero.
He's a superhero.
No.
He is my superhero.
No, it's Wesley Snipes. Like, he just come out as Wesley Snipes with a sword.
The Daywalker.
That's not a superhero.
He's a bad man, I'm telling you.
Well, let's move over to the Facebook page. My Facebook birthdays, Tiffany Rochelle Dixon. She's the mother of Emma Dixon. Isaiah Coleman. Darryl D.P. Peterson. That's the father of Darren Peterson.
Oh, wow.
Head coach of the Phenom. Also, let's see, Tracy Jude. Happy birthday, Tracy Jude. And Adam and Barry Jewell. So happy birthday, folks, on my friends list. JJ, that gets us started. We got a lot to talk about, but, I honestly think that we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the biggest story coming and going right now, and that was yesterday. The Michael McKinney and M.K. McKinney got arrested in Prestonsburg for the murder of Amber Spradlin. Let's take a look at Brandis Bradley. She kind of breaks it down for us.
3 people have been arrested today in connection with the brutal murder of Amber Spradlin at Dr. Mike McKinney's house on Arkansas Creek in Floyd County 408 days ago on June 18th. Here you have Dr. Michael McKinney being taken into custody by Kentucky State Police right outside the Brick House restaurant in Prestonsburg, which is just a couple of doors down from his dental office. Meanwhile, at the dental office, you have suspect Josh Mullins being taken into custody as well. I'm told Josh Mullins is not only an employee of the dental office, but also a close family friend. And allegedly, Josh Mullins was in Dr. McKinney's house the night that Amber was brutally murdered there. Here you have Josh Mullins and Dr. McKinney being escorted into the Floyd County Detention Center, where they were booked and will be held at least overnight until they face arraignment in Floyd Circuit Court tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. Both men were charged with 7 counts of complicity to tampering with physical evidence. MK is the only suspect charged with murder. However, according to the indictment, all 3 men are alleged to have removed, concealed, or destroyed the handle from the broken knife used to murder Amber Spradlin. Removed, concealed, or destroyed the clothing Michael McKinney III, MK, was wearing when he murdered Spradlin. Cleaned or removed Spradlin's blood from the kitchen sink in the home in which she was murdered. Cleaned or removed Spradlin's blood from the laundry utility room sink in the home in which she was murdered, Dr. McKinney's home. Removed, concealed, or destroyed a surveillance camera that would have captured the murder of Amber Spradlin from the room in which she was killed. Wow.
That's just a little bit. Brandis Bradley, for you folks, most people know her around here, JJ. She's a big attorney that, she's known as kind of a human rights activist, I guess. She takes up for a lot of the stuff in the area. But, Michael McKinney, they started the Justice for Amber page, and it has took the state by storm. Everybody backing, Debbie Hall, I guess, was a family member of hers, and she runs it, but everybody was backing it, and it's took the state by storm. Everybody interested in this case. It was a national story, and Dr. Michael McKinney, MK McKinney, and Josh Mullins arrested yesterday in Prestonsburg on murder charges or complicity to murder or getting rid of evidence.
This story is absolutely insane, and I'm just now finding out about it. I didn't when you and I were talking about it yesterday. Like, you were like, you didn't know about this? It was like, I didn't have a clue that it was a national.
I can't believe you didn't know.
Yeah, I don't keep up with the news. Well, I do now, but I didn't at the time, and I didn't know this was a national story. This is insane.
Yeah, it's insane. I think 3:00 today is their arraignment, so you'll know if there's a bond set and if they'll be able to reach their bond. And I think that Dr. McKinney and the Josh Mullins may be, from what I'm reading, maybe they're more in trouble for getting rid of evidence, and they're getting charged for being she goes on to tell a little bit more here. Let's read it.
Concealed, or destroyed a digital video recorder which contained footage from surveillance video cameras in the home where the murder occurred. Removed, concealed, or destroyed the hard drive from the only desktop PC in the home which contained information about surveillance cameras that were on the wireless network in the home where the murder occurred. What this indictment tells us is that prosecutors believe Amber Spradlin's horrific murder was captured on video, and these suspects allegedly left no stone unturned, making sure that video footage could never be recovered. Dr. Michael McKinney, along with his son MK and Josh Mullins, they will all appear in Floyd Circuit Court tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m., where they will face arraignment on these charges. It is my understanding that Dr. Michael McKinney, at least, has hired the best criminal defense that money can buy in Eastern Kentucky, that being Attorney Terry Dean Jacobs from neighboring Knott County. I'm sure that Attorney Terry Dean Jacobs will be in court tomorrow afternoon representing Dr. Michael McKinney, at least, where he will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of the dentist and ask the judge to set a bond. Given that Dr. McKinney and Josh Mullins' charges are all Class D felonies, the lowest level felonies in Kentucky, those 2 suspects will likely get a bond. Not just any bond, but a bond that they both will likely be able to pay. So expect Dr. McKinney and Josh Mullins to be out of jail tomorrow. The real question is, will MK get a bond? And if he does get a bond, will it be one that Daddy can and is willing to pay? Which would have to be pretty substantial. The McKinneys are probably one of the wealthiest families in Floyd County. My guess is if we want to keep MK in jail, the judge is going to have to hold him without bond. But we'll see tomorrow afternoon. I'll keep you posted.
Follow Brandis Bradley on all of her social media if you want to keep up more with this case. She's a top-notch lawyer. I think she does hair stuff. She's a hairstylist, and she spends her off time by helping the cheerleaders at Betsy Lane.
It sounds like she's a Swiss Army knife.
She is. But, yeah. That's just a little bit about about the case. But, I hope they get justice for the family, no matter what it is. I don't know, nobody knew what happened up Arkansas Creek that night. But I can remember waking up the next morning and this story on national news, and it was definitely a black eye and a black cloud over Prestonsburg. Prestonsburg's such a beautiful city. It's good to get this behind you and find out the truth either way what it is.
Absolutely. This sounds like it could be a Netflix documentary, honestly.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely,
it will be.
Yeah, I'm definitely invested now. Yeah, I'll be tuning in every single day, like keeping track of that, Justice for Amber page.
Yeah. So JJ, we got a ton of breaking news today. You guys don't want to miss this show, I promise you, because this is a big show with a lot of news dropping, and we'll give you just a little piece of that breaking news when we return. We'll be right back here on the Startup Morning Show.
All started right here on this farm. We may have grown over the years, but we've never lost sight of what was important to us. We're continuing that tradition today, and we always will be for generations to come.
Walters Kia. By now you know Kia is a great vehicle, and you know they come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So why should you buy from Bruce Walters Kia? At Bruce Walters Kia, we're going to change your oil for free for life. And what you do with that money you save is up to you. Come check out the 2022 Kia Carnival and the 2021 Kia Sorento. Only at Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville. Or shop us online at brucewalterskia.com.
And we are back here on the Startup Morning Show. JJ Pruitt, Darryl McCoy here. JJ, you got a Mate 1 Tigers jersey. Let's see if we can get a good look at this.
Oh, let me see if I can.
There you go. Mate 1 Tigers. Tell us a little bit about the history of that jersey.
So this is probably one of my favorite pieces next to Kevin Baston's Birch jersey. This is from the 2003 state championship team. Okay. The only state championship that Mate 1 won in baseball. This is from my good friend, Edward Hardesty. He was a 3-sport athlete and a really good friend of mine. And, he was a really good football player, a really good basketball player, but he had his most success on the baseball diamond. And in this state championship game, they played against Greenbrier West. The final score was 9-7, and he actually batted in 2 runs. So he definitely did his part to get the win. And I'm really grateful for him letting me wear this jersey today.
All right, guys, make sure that you put the comments in the comment section, what you guys got to say about the show, about the topics. You want to talk about anything, you got questions, leave it in the comment section. We'll pop it up and read your comments here on the Jim Mars Services comment line here. Also, if you have questions and you would like to call in to the show, you can give us a call here on the Double Quick hotline. Get it on the double at Double Quick, JJ, as the hotline phone number is 606-230-8911. That's 606-230-8911. JJ, this segment is sponsored by Punk's Tires. Punk's Tires doing the best to make sure you're kept road safe, you and your loved ones. So, if them potholes are killing you, pothole of the day, I got a good one yesterday, JJ, that really needs fixed. So we'll start it back tomorrow, sponsored by Punk's Tires. Go see Jeremy Pinson and the crew for all your best deals on tires and wheel alignments, brakes, and more. So, JJ, as we move on here, breaking news yesterday. Ashton Evans Ashton Evans, 2029 combo guard, enrolled at Belfry today and will be playing his 8th grade season for the Pirates. The dual sport athlete helps make Belfry one of the top middle school teams in the mountains. Evans was named Player of the Year in soccer last season in West Virginia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he won 2 Mingo County championships in basketball. He has won 2 Mingo back-to-back county championships in soccer, and also won Black Diamond championship in basketball as well.
So this kid's a winner.
Oh, he's a winner.
Absolutely.
And a huge addition. Todd Atkins says JJ repping the 2003 state champion. Looks good, JJ.
Interesting fact about Todd Atkins. I believe he started that game. If you could let me know in the comments section. I remember, I think it was the day before the game. My sister was working in Charleston, and he came over to the mall to talk to her. And I believe he said he was really nervous that he actually had to start in the game. So if you could remind me of whether or not you started, Todd, I greatly appreciate that.
So, JJ, listen, that ain't all the breaking news.
What else we got?
Let me ask you, do you want the breaking news now, or do you want me to give it to you later?
Let's give it to me now. Let's
you
go.
Want it now?
Yeah, let's go ahead. This show's been. We'll just start this show off with a bang. So
all right,
let's see what.
I'm gonna start it off with a bang.
Let's see what you got.
And we heard the other day, Jackson Estridge returning to Pond Creek because of circumstances out of his hands.
Okay.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me make sure here that I got it. Yes, I do. Now he returns home to Pond Creek where he grew up.
Okay.
Belfry ain't done.
They're not done.
Listen, it just so happened the way things worked this year here, you got 2 of Belfry's finest coming back to Pond Creek Nation. Breaking news. Brody Little has returned to Pond Creek. Brody Little is a combo guard out of Pikeville, 6'1". Kid is an electric finisher. If he gets in the paint, it's over. He's strong. He's athletic, good defender. Now all of a sudden you have Brody Little, Jackson Estridge, to Zaid Rash. Belfry's going to be a problem, JJ.
And I just watched some of this kid's highlights, and he is really, really good. Like, they are going to be loaded this year. And I think that, I know yesterday they was asking, where we thought that Belfry was going to be ranked in the region, and I believe they could be a legit top 5.
Oh,
yeah, for sure.
I think you still, JJ, whenever you sit and look, I still think Belfry is, I think they're 5, 6, 7 in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think Martin County, Johnson Central are 1, 2, ever how you want to put it.
Yeah.
Then Pikeville, Paintsville, 3, 4, ever how you want to put it. And then I think you got Belfry, Betsy Lane, and Lawrence County, probably 5, 6, 7. Sprinkle in Pike Central there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Because anytime you got Jaden Stewart, you got a chance. But Brody Little coming to Pond Creek. A lot of people don't know his mom owns a business on Pond Creek. She was a state champion cheerleader at Tug Valley. And then his dad was a former football star on Pond Creek.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
I can't wait for this season. I really think that Belfry's going to surprise a lot of people.
Well, it's huge, JJ. Huge news as Brody Little returns to Pond Creek.
That is terrific.
So, as we're sitting here, guys, let us know what your thoughts are as we're going to sit here, look, and see. We got some comments coming in, JJ, as we throw it up here. Looks like Brianna Deskin says, yay, Brody. Todd Atkins replying said, pitched a complete game in that game. David Jones says, wow, Little is special. Glad to see him come home. And Brianna Deskin says, and so are we. So, a lot of comments coming in. Let us know your thoughts, but huge addition. Brent Perry and the Pirates. Seems like they're, Belfry's always known, JJ, for football. Seems like basketball is getting a little momentum here.
I think so. I think that, this roster this year is going to definitely put Belfry back in the spot that they need to be as far as with basketball, like just bringing that tradition back.
Yeah.
Because they were really good in the 90s, and even in the early 2000s, they were solid as well. And, they went through a period to where they weren't as good. Yeah. But now I think that they're going to get everything back, back rolling for sure.
Oh, I think they will too. And Belfry basketball, it's been gone for a while. The last time Belfry basketball was really great was back in '98 whenever they made it to the region championship against Paintsville. Now, Coach Casey, I think, if I'm not mistaken, somebody let me know. I'm pretty sure Coach Casey made it to the region championship with Matt and Jamie.
I was on that team.
David Jones knows. Well, you was
yeah,
on the team.
Yeah, I was on the team for half the season, and then I ended up quitting and running track instead. But I'm pretty sure they might have made it to the second or third round. I don't think they made it to the championship, but they went deep that year.
Yeah,
I think so.
I remember them going pretty deep. And if I'm not mistaken, that was one of the first years it was at the Expo Center.
Yeah, I think it might have been the first year.
Yeah, so it's been a long time coming for Pond Creek, so hopefully they'll be okay, JJ. And Brody Little, Zayd Rash, Jackson Estridge will all, let's see. David Jones says, we made it senior year runner-up to championship.
Oh, wow.
So that was 2003.
David, he was a senior in 2003.
He graduated in 2003.
No, I think it was 2004.
I don't think so. Let us know, David.
Yeah.
Well, 2003 football season.
Yeah. 2000.
Yeah, so it would have been 3 or 4.
Yeah, 2003. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So but huge news there for Pond Creek. JJ.
That is awesome. I could not wait for this season, and I really hope I get to call some of these games.
Well,
it feels good that so many people are coming back home. I mean, I know I'm a Mingo County boy, but I went to Belfry for 3 years, and I love it whenever I hear that they're doing good.
JJ, you just wanted to ride David Jones's coattails.
I mean, it's tough. He has some big shoes to fill,
But no, huge deal there. But as we're moving on here, JJ, David Jones, also on here, he says yes, it was 2003. So just giving you a little update there. Guys, let's move on. Olympics coming up, JJ. We're going to talk about the election in a little bit.
We got more news on the election?
Listen, the Olympics have kind of threw them off a little bit. It's took some of the election news away and some of the hype, but if you read the headlines, there's still a lot of stories going on. The trial with the FBI is going on right now.
Oh, wow.
So, we'll get what's coming out there. But with the Olympics, JJ, have you been tuning in?
I've been tuning in some. The gold medal counts got me disappointed. I think that we should have a couple more gold medals. We have a lot of medals, but
let's look up to date here on the medal count.
Okay.
China, 7 gold medals. Japan, 7 gold medals. France, 6. Great Britain, 6. Australia, 6. South Korea, 5. United States, 4. Italy, 3. And Canada, 2 wraps up the top 10 in medal counts, or in the gold medal counts. Now, U.S. still leads the total medal count of 26, but France just 6 behind. U.S., they got to step up and perform. And I think as we move on to the other sports that we're going to really separate ourselves, I think we're going to be okay and we'll still win the medal count.
If you think about, what are we best known for? Gymnastics, swimming, basketball, what other sports am I? Track?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of the other sports off the top of my head, but those are pretty much the main 4 that I know of that we're best at for the most part.
Well, fencing too.
Yeah, and fencing as well.
As Lee Kiefer from Lexington won a title, but right now the fencing, U.S. women saber fencers lose Olympic bouts, overshadowed by a match-fixing investigation. You know
what? That's insane because, when I think of fixing, I immediately think of Roy Jones Jr. back in the day. I think it might have been 1988. It was in Seoul, I believe. He fought a boxing match, and after he ended up winning, he dominated this guy as well. But then, he ended up losing, and they gave the other guy the medal. But it turned out that it was proven that it was fixed and that it was rigged, and he never ended up getting his gold medal. But yeah, it just goes to show you just never know, when something like that's going to happen.
They, as we sit here, JJ, we got him in studio. We got Matthew Perry, and he'll be coming up in just a moment on the other side of the commercial break. We'll be right back here on the Startup Morning Show with JJ Pruitt and Darryl McCoy.
Started right here on this farm. We may have grown over the years, but we've never lost sight of what was important to us. We're continuing that tradition today, and we always will be for generations to come.
Oceana Discount Tobacco today. Nobody can beat Oceana Discount Tobacco's great prices or their great services. You're treated like family from the second you walk through the door. We want to thank Oceana Discount Tobacco for sponsoring today's events. Go follow them on Facebook.
And we are back here, JJ, on the Startup Morning Show. JJ Pruitt, Darryl, McCoy here. This segment is sponsored by our friends at Double Quick. And JJ, we have one of my favorite coaches in the business, Coach Matthew Perry, joining us. Good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning, Darryl. Glad I could join you.
You cutting weeds this morning?
No, not this morning. I'm not. I'm taking it easy.
taking this morning off, I see. So, Coach, yeah, I wanted to bring you on and talk to you about a bunch of different things. But, first of all, you ended up taking and picking up a big piece the other day, and we broke the news here on D&D. Jacob Breeding leaving Johnson Central, coming to Bath County. Talk a little bit about that kid and what you've learned, what he'll bring to Bath County.
Well, let me first say this. Jacob is a top-notch individual. He's a great kid. He's got extremely great work ethic on and off the floor. He's battled injury his whole entire career. So if you look at his stats, he's probably not played a total of 2 to 3 minutes his entire high school career because of multiple knee injuries. He loves the game. He will work and do whatever is asked of him to try to improve daily. He will be a big asset to our team simply because, I think with what we have coming back, he can fit in, have the opportunity to play significant minutes and knock down shots for us.
Well, and, when you look what he's joining on your roster, who are some of the other pieces on the Bath County roster that people should watch out for? Because I know you graduated quite a few.
We did. We had a great group of seniors that, you hate to lose and you hate to see go on. But as one chapter ends, a second chapter begins. But we have Montana Bashir coming back. He's probably one of the better athletes in the 16th region, extremely athletic, 6'5", can play out on the floor, is very versatile, can play with his back to the basket as well. We have a kid named AD, 6'8", 6'9", that set out the entire year last year, that will be eligible, who's got extremely great upside with his abilities. And then you throw in a host of young kids, Isaac Ullery, Cooper Cox, Jason Bashford. Our JV was extremely competitive, so we feel like with what we got coming back, mixing those guys in, changing our mindset a little bit, getting us to where we're more defensively minded, grind people on the defensive end and get stops, something we struggled to do last year. And that was, like I said, it was all mindset, in my opinion. I think we had the ability. It's just sometimes when things didn't go our way, instead of just digging down deeper and finding the fortitude to do what was necessary, we just we kind of took a step backwards. But things are promising for this season. Anytime you take over a program, typically you take it over for a couple of reasons. One, they've lost all their talent, or two, their coach has moved on, and that happened at Bath County. And we're trying to build a culture where we're tough-minded. We play defense. We win games by just playing defense and holding people to under 50 points, and allow our versatility on the offense to take place.
And now, and that's one thing you're well known. You're more known for your years at Morgan County. And well, before I go into that, I'm gonna let JJ have you for a second. I don't want to take any of JJ's questions.
Coach, it's really nice to meet you. I apologize for not being as familiar with your work as other people, like my coworker. So you've won a couple of regional titles at the previous places you've coached.
Well, what I took over in Morgan County in 2001, we were fortunate enough my first season to win the district tournament. I was an interim coach. They named me head coach. We put in a great weight program, and it kind of took off from there. We had a really, really special freshman group coming in, and we built around those guys using the leadership of our upperclassmen, and we were able to sustain multiple 20-win seasons over 7 to 8 years. We won multiple districts. We won a regional championship, and then we kind of went through a lull period where our talent kind of dropped off. Our work ethic didn't, but we got it rebuilt, got to the regional championship again. So we had some success there. We had success because I felt like, one, we outworked everybody in the region day in, day out. And I feel like if you can get your kids to do that and they develop that mindset that when they face adversity, it's going to be easier to overcome.
Okay, so you said you've been coaching since 2001 for the most part. What would you say the biggest difference between the players from the early 2000s versus the players today is, like as far as things that they may need to develop compared to previous years? Like, what would you say the biggest difference is between the players from then to today?
Well, that's a great question because when you look back 20 years ago, when I first started coaching, you could go anywhere and find a 5-on-5 pickup game. It wasn't, you could go to the local playground, you could go to your local Y, you go to your community center, rec center, whatever. You don't find that as much and as often, but that doesn't mean that kids today are not as good. What's happened over 20 years is the game has evolved, the game has changed. When I first started, it was more of a power-based game where if you got a 5 guy, you got a post presence, you throw it to them on the block, they go to work on somebody, and you had extremely skilled guards. But over 20 years, the game has become more perimeter oriented. If you watch college basketball as well as pro basketball, the game is stretched beyond the 3-point line, and the 3-point line changed everything. It changed the entire game. I was privileged enough when I was playing high school basketball in 1988, the 3-point line came in, and I didn't think, well, it would be that big of a difference. But over a course of a 25 to 26 year career, the game has changed because it can single-handedly, it can beat you or it can get you beat.
Yeah. So do you find that kids are still working on every single part of their game today compared to back then, or do you feel like kids aren't working on certain parts as much as they should be?
I really don't. I think kids' work can totally dependent upon the people that are around them. I think you're a product of your environment. If you've got a coach that is a developer that is willing to work on certain things and increase versatility, I think those kids will embrace that. As far as that, the game has evolved. Now it's a guards game. I hate to say that, but you look at this, most people, they never heard the term stretch 4 in the early 2000s. Now a stretch 4 or stretch 5, you got guys 6'10", 7 foot standing out at 20 feet, knocking shots down. And you've got big guys like Nikola Jokic that at Denver, who has guard-like skills, that is a great passer. So I think a lot of it is who you're around, what you do on a daily basis. But I don't think the game has changed from a perspective of kids working. Kids are always working on their game. I think if you have a ball and a basket, you can go out and you can work on ball handling and shooting, and you can improve your footwork. But a lot of it's just being a product of the environment that you're in, I think.
You hit it on the head there. Now, you hadn't heard the term back in my day, stretch 4, or now a term that's used all the time, positionless basketball. I'm more old school. I like 2 guys in the paint and I like 3 guys on the perimeter. But I'm a little behind the times there, Coach. But, Coach, we got a lot of comments coming in. Eric Rash says, Coach Perry is tremendous coach, but even better guy. He is a good guy if he gets said as it gets preparing kids and training kids. He's one of the best. Carl Whitey Little says, Coach Perry's son, JP, is one of Brody Little's friends who helped him at Pikeville get a ton better. Said, great young man with a basketball mind. Said, and looks like you got a lot of fans in here, Coach Perry. That's what I wanted to talk about. One of the, you're known as the basketball guru, and, a guy named Timmy Hall was the guy that recommended me to get a hold of you, with my son. And, I know Brady Dingus come to you, Sammy Sykes, a lot of the greats out of the 15th region. But, one of your biggest, I guess, notches in your belt is your son, Jordan Perry. Everybody knows him as one of the most skilled players to ever play in the mountains. Ended up playing at UPike, had a great career there. Talk a little bit about what, I know you're just a basketball guru and a basketball mind, and you want to be around the game anytime you can. But, what got you into training? Was it your son, Jordan? And talk a little bit about him and what makes him a special trainer and coach too.
Well, one of the things, Darryl, that you mentioned earlier was positionless basketball. I took over at Morgan County in early 2001. And the one thing I wanted to do there was not define kids by size and by skill. I wanted to develop kids to the point where if they went to college and they entered an institution, they had the ability to play and play right away. And for that to happen, I had to evolve and I had to develop skills with kids that would put them in a position to do that. So one of the things I've always prided myself on is I don't think I'm the smartest guy in the world. I don't think I'm trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm willing to seek help when help is needed. So I've used resources such as the internet, video coaching resources as well to try to enhance my abilities. And when my kids played, you could always tell that their skill level was being developed from week to week, month to month, year to year. They were improving. But, when my son came through, I wanted to make sure that my son, and I know this is crazy and this may sound bad, but, we live in communities where a lot of times people tend to think, well, the reason that kid plays is because his dad is a coach. What I tried to do was destroy that mindset in that I wanted my son to be so skilled that when he played, people would respect him for who he was rather than him being my son. So we worked 2.5 to 3 hours a day on his skill level. We developed his right hand, his left hand. We developed his ability to finish, his ability to shoot. We worked on his body as well, and that takes time with the Vertimax training, speed training, plyometrics, getting him athletic, trying to bring out as much athleticism as possible. What happened was, as he evolved, people around areas saw that, and we opened it up to the point where we did skill work on a daily basis, and people found out about me, and they sought me out, and I helped develop kids like Sammy Sykes, it was a privilege to work with her family, her dad. I had a great respect for her dad. He brought her 5 days a week. We worked with her. I've had the opportunity to work with Brady Dingus. You talked about Lathan Hall. I can name others, Braxton Blair at Johnson Central, Tate, Kyle Gullett at Johnson Central. I've had the privilege to work with, multiple kids at Pikeville as well. But my son is kind of just, he kind of, when he left Morgan County High School, I wanted him to develop his own identity at UPike, be his own person. And, he was fortunate enough to walk in and be able to play right away because, once again, I thought he had an extremely high skill level. However, he endured some injuries. His body kind of broke down on him. He was unfortunate because I felt like my son was skilled enough to make money playing this game. I've always said that I wanted to train somebody that got to that level. because once you get somebody there, your credibility is hard for people to say. When you talk and you speak about things, people listen because those guys, because you've been there and done that. But my son graduated from UPike. He got a job coaching there at Pikeville Independent with Elijah. They do a tremendous job, and he's just kind of, continued in my footsteps, but he's doing it in a different area, and he's having the opportunity to influence and mold and develop kids. And, that's a skill right now that a lot of people are seeking out, because I don't mean this being mean, but sometimes high school coaches, they coach all year long and they need time and for their families to prioritize. And, people are seeking out those services because they want those kids to develop and have the opportunity to play at the next level. And there's nothing stopping anybody. There's not a single kid that can't play at the college level. It's about time and commitment and doing the right things and getting around the right people, I think.
Well, and that's the other thing. You just don't start with stop basketball with you. You're a coach's coach. A lot of people that don't know you don't know, like, your two daughters are one of the two biggest track stars to ever walk in the bluegrass. Both of them went on to play big time or to compete on the Division I level in track and field. But that's something as a dad, a lot of times, I struggle with, like, okay, where do I put my time? Do I take and put it all into my kids and go train, or, do I work all the time and not be there? Was it peaceful knowing that, okay, with your job and what you do, you was able to be around your kids and really mold them yourself? Are you surprised too that every one of your kids played at the next level? Are you surprised from whenever they started training in the early days, what you seen early on to where they got?
Well, each one of my children are extremely different. They're as different as daylight and dark. I can't take all the credit. My wife invested a lot of time and effort and money, resources into our kids. I've always been a firm believer of this, Darryl. You got one shot to get this right. You got to invest yourself into it and seek out resources and do whatever you can to try to improve. So the one thing we did when with my son, it was more me in the gym each and every day or up here on our court working. But with my daughters, it was we had to seek out those services. So we took them to specialized running clubs. They were running AAU events. They were seeking out coaches for conditioning and plyometrics. And then my oldest daughter got to a point where she had a girl from down in southeastern Kentucky that she could not beat. And this girl was a great runner. And I started taking over training her a little bit to put her on the Vertimax, helping her with her athleticism, her stride, just trying to build confidence. And when she got over that hurdle and beat and defeated that girl, it kind of took off. My oldest daughter was fortunate enough to win 6 state championships, and my youngest daughter won 4 state championships. My youngest daughter would have won probably 6 or 7, but COVID took out a complete year, so that hurt her. But it didn't keep her from working, even when COVID was going on. All the activities surrounding that, we had hurdles set up in a field down here by our house, and we would go down there every morning and work on her and her mother and myself, or her and her mother would go down there and work on her stride or starts. So a lot of it's time commitment. You as a parent, you can put your money in leisure activities, or you can put it in activities that are designed to help your kids. We spent an enormous amount of money trying to help our kids get better. And the reward for that was we got free education. And that's the most important thing. My son graduated with a degree from Pikeville. He graduated with a master's degree from Pikeville. My oldest daughter's getting ready to graduate next year from Bowling Green State University, having completed 5 years of eligibility. She will graduate with a physical therapy degree. And my youngest daughter just recently transferred from Marshall to University of Buffalo, New York, and she will graduate with an engineering degree. So me and my wife have been completely blessed in the fact that sports has provided an academic opportunity for them to make their lives a lot easier.
Well, everybody knows JP, but tell people your 2 daughters' names.
My oldest daughter's name is Kaylee Perry. She runs at Bowling Green State. She runs cross country and indoor track and field. She's a distance specialist. She won the MAC championship as a freshman, and then she battled injuries. She's battled COVID. Seems like every time she turns around, she's contracting COVID, and it's just kind of hampered her. But now she's getting back to where she's full strength, and she's got one more year. We'll see where that leads. And then my youngest daughter is Krista Perry. She does the I think it's called the pentathlon.
Yeah.
She does hurdles. Hurdles is her best event, but they've now converted her to a specialist where she does long jump, high jump, javelin. She does like 6 to 8 events, and she was very competitive. But there's certain events that hamper her simply because here in the state of Kentucky with sports, like we don't have javelin. We've never, so my daughter had never thrown a javelin until she got in college. So we've had to seek out resources. Still to this day, we're sitting there to coaches and trying to help her improve her skills and her abilities so that can help her be more successful. But, not all parents are in the position that me and my wife are in. But it's still possible for kids to get where they want to go. They just have to be willing to work hard, invest time. And, kids learn at different rates. And kids need to know that, just because you don't master a skill when you necessarily want to, that doesn't mean that you can't master it. You just got to keep working, invest in time. You'll get where you want to go.
Well, Coach, and that's one thing. We'll go back to that COVID situation here in a second. But Kean Works says Coach Perry has done an amazing job raising JP. He is a lot to many here in the mountains and helped them daily in life and in basketball. So, Jordan, definitely one of the most respected people, just an outstanding young man. Brianna Deskin says it runs in the family. Terry Jackson says use the game to your advantage, kids. And Coach, that brings me to, you've always, had a select few that you worked with, and you work with kids from, all different regions. Just, you just want to improve the game of basketball. And talking to you in a short time, I can tell that, you want basketball to be great again, and you're trying to put out as many great kids as you can and help them with their dreams. You just spoke on, it may not come when you want it, but it'll come in time if you keep working. I see a lot of the kids you're working with, are upperclassmen that are finally reaching that point. They just needed, somebody with that confidence and somebody that could really help them, put them over the top there. Right now you work with some of the ones in the 15th region. You talked about breeding a while ago. Ethan Lance, just got word that he transferred to Betsy Lane. Talk about the big man that you're working with.
Ethan has great skill, great upside. He's coming off of a knee injury. I think he's only been cleared since June to resume workouts. So, he's kind of working his way back in it. He is a great kid, got great work ethic. His ball handling is improving daily. He's got the ability to step out. Like I said, I think he's got the ability to be a stretch four for whomever he plays for. He can step out, knock it down. But one of the most positive things about him is he's got a body unlike a lot of kids. He's strong. He could go down on the block and beat and bang, and he's scrappy. He's the type of kid I think could get you 10 and 10. He gets you 10 points, 10 rebounds, and it's kind of it kind of goes unnoticed sometimes. But those are valuable kids. I have the opportunity right now to work with Eric Rash, his son Zaid Rash. Tremendous upside. A young kid that got the ability to score, can put it on the deck. The sky's the limit for him. If
Quick
he just
release. Quick release.
Oh, quick release is done. And the thing is, the one thing I've tried to do in helping him is just target little things that I think can help improve him, like getting it to his shooting pocket a split second quicker, pausing in his 90, or what I call 90, pausing in your shooting pocket on your shot, slowing down, letting your legs get into it. He's got the ability to heat up really, really, really fast, and he'll stay hot for a while. I've seen him workouts where, and it's kind of surprising. I've told people this, and they tend to not believe it. But I've seen him and Jackson Estridge work out, and they might miss 2 to 3 shots the entire 2 hours of a hard grinding workout. And then you talk about Jackson. Jackson's got great upside. In the 15th, he's pretty well known as a tenacious defender. I don't want him to be known as a tenacious defender. I want him to be known as a complete basketball player, where he has offense, defense that complement each other. Allow his defense to get him some easy ones that can add to his scoring average, but show his offense ability. So, when we first started working out, it was about focusing on the pickup, the ball handling. Now it's about, evolving his versatility, giving him multitudes of moves that he can use, that he can score, and have a repertoire where, when he scores, people are not saying, well, that was luck. No, he's done it, and he's done it repetitiously every single day in 2 to 3 workouts a week. So, kids need to vest themselves into a craft, and they need to hone that craft. And I'm not saying not play multiple sports. Prioritize. Use your time to become more athletic. Use your time to become more skilled. Use your time to become more competitive. Football helps basketball. Basketball helps baseball. They all help one another if you use the resources of the games to help each other.
Well, and that's the other thing. I've seen. That's why I always say, when you talk about the best in the business, you're a next level trainer. I've been in college trainers, been in professional training, and that's the stuff that you're teaching high school kids. And where you took Estridge and Rash, I've seen both of them really flourish. In Estridge's progress, it's really, it was just you getting him more comfortable with the basketball, and giving him that confidence, when he had the ball in his hands. And I think with your tutelage, I think that he's winning. I don't think there's any way that anybody could say that either one of them kids ain't top 10 kids in the 15th region.
Well, confidence is the big thing. Typically when the one thing that I try to do when I work with kids is I try to instill confidence in them that they are able to do things that they didn't think they could do. Now, does that mean that there's going to be times in a workout where you struggle? Yes, most certainly. But what happens is, through those struggles, the easy parts of the game become a lot easier. So, when you take a difficult move, a Jamal Crawford finish, a lot of people may not know what that is. It's there. It's a resource you can find. But if you're having a kid do that, he's developing a multitude of skills that he will be able to perform easier with the easy stuff that will make him successful. But it's reps. You're getting the shots up. You're getting 250 to 400 shots a day, and you can do that without a basketball and a goal. Just getting a basketball and just working your form, and laying on your bed, sitting in a chair. There's things you can do. You can dribble a basketball in your house. My wife. We used to drive my wife crazy here because my son was always bouncing a basketball and shooting it off a door frame in the house, and she'd say, "What's he doing?" I'm like, "Don't leave that boy alone. He's trying to get better. That boy's trying to get better. Just let him get better." But the one thing you asked earlier was, do you see progression? The thing is, you work with these kids so much, and you're around them so much, that it's harder for you as a trainer, as a coach, to see the improvement. Whereas if somebody hasn't seen them in a while, comes in and watches them play or perform, they're like, what in the world has happened to this kid? They have transformed. I don't need people to pat me on the back. I've always been the type of person that advocated to my son when he was coming up. We don't need people to pat us on the back. We just need to be humble and hungry. Be humble and hungry. Keep working, because there's a lot of jealousy in the world. as you all would well know, people will always make comments, well, that kid is not as good as he thinks he is, or that kid has reached his peak. That's where you just keep working, you keep grinding, you keep doing the right things. You just keep, and you prove doubters wrong. That's what this world's about. You got to prove people wrong on a daily basis. And if you're able to do that, and you do it through hard work, I'm old. You talk about old school, you ain't gonna meet nobody more old school than me. I believe that the harder you work, the more difficult it is to surrender, and the harder you work, the more positive the results will be in the end. Now, that doesn't always mean you're going to be a champion, but you're successful because you've learned skills and the discipline to be successful.
What about and last one I want to get your thoughts on Bentley King.
Oh my goodness! Listen, I think Bentley has enormous upside. Extremely young. He's got his parents are committed to trying to seek out resources to get him better. I can't take any credit for what he's done. My son works with him 5-6 days a week. My son's done a great job with him. My son calls me every once in a while and say, what can I do to help him? And, it reminds me of me, because that's something I would have done. I would have sought out other coaches' advice if there was a stumbling block somewhere along the way. But, I think he's going to be extremely athletic. I think he's extremely skilled. I think confidence is the big thing. Just learning that, his game is going to continue to evolve, and believe in himself. Not get down when a shot don't go in. That's one thing I've tried to do, Darryl, with and you know this, with Zaid and Jackson and Ethan Lance, some of those kids I work out with on a daily basis and a weekly basis. I've tried to instill in them that I don't care if you miss that shot. The next rep is the most important one. Have a short memory. Don't worry about the past. You can't control it. The only thing you can control is your future. And what you do is you got to dial in, be focused, but get back to Bentley. Bentley, same way. Just having the ability to believe in yourself and not get frustrated. Because I'm a firm believer in it. I'll leave you this quote. A guy once told me this, and I've said it every year to every team I've been around. He who controls you owns you. If you allow a missed shot to get in your mind and mess with your mindset for the next 2 minutes, you stop playing. And you can't do that. Or you allow a bad call. An official makes a call that goes against you. It may not necessarily be a bad call. Maybe it's the right call, but you think it's a bad call. And it just develops, it messes with your mindset. So, I think he who controls you owns you. You gotta be a believer like Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller, one of the greatest shooters in basketball, always believed that no matter if he missed 10 in a row, that 11th one was going in. And those kids have to believe in themselves. And that's something that, some coaches believe that you shouldn't have to coach confidence. I think you have to coach confidence. Why? Because kids need to know that they have somebody that believes in them, that's going to stand behind them, wants them to be successful.
Well, Coach, what I like that you've done with Bentley King is something that I think a lot of trainers need to do. Is when you see him struggling behind the 3-point line, you move him in. Your high school kids will be working out behind the 3-point line, but you move him in doing the same drills just 5 foot in. And I think a lot of young coaches, get lost in trying to teach, 5th, 6th, 7th graders, to live out behind the 3-point line when, their form and everything's being messed up because they're having to push and throw everything just to get it to the rim.
Well, I would first and foremost rather have a kid that has immaculate form than to have a kid that is shooting it from the hip and just terrible form. I work with a little kid named JD here, and the thing is, he's going to be a 6th grader. And one thing that he does is I keep him about 15 feet. He's not real strong yet, but we work his repetition and his form and go through his progressions and shooting. And I gradually have started moving him out, but when he struggles, I move him back in. Why? Because when the ball's not going in the basket, it tends to mess with people's psyche. And when, so the more it goes in, the more confident you are, the more you'll believe in doing what is right and what's being reinforced.
Well, Coach, there's a million things that I want to hit on, but we've kept you longer than we ever thought. But I want to bring you on maybe next week again and talk a little bit of stuff outside of basketball, and also want to get your opinions on some of the kids that you see in the 16th region. Real quick, thoughts on these four right here. How special can Xander Carter, Jacob Spurlock, Preston Hoskins, and Caleb Rimmer?
All four are extremely talented basketball players. All four seem to be great kids off the floor. Their parents, should be patted on the back for what they've done for those kids. The region, our region, the 15th and the 16th are about as different as daylight and dark. And what I mean by that, and that sounds crazy when I say that, the 15th is more physical. And when we as a 16th region team come to the 15th, I always tell my kids, you better be prepared for a battle. You're going to get beat, banged, knocked on. And I'm not talking about officiating. I'm talking about just the physicality of the game. Whereas the 16th is more, it's more finesse. And I'm not saying that there's not physical teams in the 16th, because there is. Xander Carter is probably the front runner for Player of the Year in the 16th, and well-deserved. He's, look at what he's been able to do there at Ashland. Ryan Bonner's done a tremendous job there. In the last couple of years, Jason May started all that, and they're using their resources to their advantage. They've invested in seeking outside resources for strength and conditioning, as well as within the program. Skill work has become a big necessity there. One of my best friends is an assistant coach there, Troy Lee Thomas. I don't know if you know Troy Lee. He's an old Letcher County boy, but we talk a whole lot, and I know how hard they work. So with that being said, Xander's probably the front runner. Jacob Spurlock is just an unreal scorer. He's got the ability to heat up. He can shoot it from about anywhere. And he's got talent around him. It's the last couple of years, it's been Boyd and Ashland, and everybody else has kind of just been kind of on the outside looking in. And, everybody else is wanting a piece of that pie, wanting that opportunity to get there. The Rimmer kid at Russell, he's very, very skilled from certain parts. I think his game will evolve as he gets older, and you'll see him stretch out, like I said, beyond the 3-point line. But right now, he's probably, one of those type of guys, 15, 16 feet in, he'll just rip it, go to the basket on you, use his body and score. He can play with his back to the basket. And Derek Cooks has done a good job over there. I feel like they're as highly competitive as anybody in our region. And then you talked about Preston Hoskins. I had the opportunity to coach Preston his freshman year, so I know what his potential is. I always felt like he had the opportunity to be a great player. He just needed to put on added strength, get in the gym, and learn to work tremendously hard on his skill. But there's our region right now is completely is kind of a 2-horse race with Ashland and Boyd, but you've got other teams like Round and Fleming, and you've got Lewis, who I think is going to surprise some people in our region. But and like I said, Bath County's on the outside looking in. We just hope to keep getting better and have a chance to compete and get that thing turned around down there to where we can win a district championship, and we can get to the region and improve upon that every year, and then get to where we can possibly win that thing.
I tell you this, Ashland Boyd right now, they're just going to reload. Russell and Raceland both have a load of young talent. So, they're going to be really good for years to come. But Coach, we got to we're up against the hard break here. I got Jackson Estridge in studio. He said, tell you that you're one of the best blue-blooded Democrats he ever met.
I wouldn't go so far to say that. Hey, let me give a shout out. Hey, Darryl, I got a bunch of guys over that I'm that we talk basketball, 14th region. We call it the 14th region sports reporters. They're always talking about the D&D show and things that are going on in the mountains, the 14th, the 15th, the 16th. You even throw in the 13th region. You got Paul Smith, you got Michael Bellamy, Byron Bellamy, Jordan Bellamy, Ryan Griffiths, and former coach at Jackson City, Kyle Pruitt. These guys talk about the D&D show all the time.
Listen, I know Kyle quite well. I've worked with Kyle many times on some stuff in AAU, and I think he's up in Ohio now coaching, if I'm not mistaken. But Coach, that's it. That's another thing. Real quick, whether it's with, I know you have a lot of types of different things. Give us 2 podcasts to listen to, whether it's sports or whether it's politic talk or whatever. Give us two of your favorite podcasts.
Well, I'm a kind of I don't, as far as like sports, I don't listen to a lot of sports podcasts because but I'm very politically minded. I listen to a guy named, I don't know if you know a guy named Phil Godlinski.
No. What's the name of his podcast?
It's just Phil Godlinski. PhilGodlinski.com. And I follow him. Candace Owens, I listen to a lot of hers stuff. But like I said, I look at it from both sides. I don't try to judge, just be who I am. But I appreciate you guys having me on this morning. Like I said, anytime we can talk about sports, especially in the 15th, 16th, and 14th region. Like I said, I train a lot of kids there. I just like to see a kid make it big time. I think, it sets the precedent that other kids can do it. And it's been a long time coming. There's several kids that, that have the chance to do that. And what they don't know is that all the young kids will look to them for the future and say, if that kid can make it, I can make it.
That's it, Coach. Again, I appreciate everything you do for the kids, you do for the mountains, and we'll see you in a gym sometime soon. I'll leave you with this comment. Carl Whitey Little says, great interview, Coach Perry. He said, I've learned a lot listening to you today. So, Coach, I'll see you this evening, and till then, good day.
All right, you all have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right here on the Startup Morning Show on the other side of the break. JJ Pruitt, Darryl McCoy.
Incorporated Little Flower Clinic announcing help needed. We're seeking donations of gift cards to help us make a difference for our homeless and at-risk patients. Gift cards will be used for new clothing, new underwear, and personal hygiene items. If you're interested in helping, please contact us. Call Kendra Cole at 606-487-9505, extension 342, or mail your gift cards to Little Flower Clinic, 279 East Main Street, Hazard, Kentucky, 41701.
Started right here on this farm. We may have grown over the years, but we've never lost sight of what was important to us. We're continuing that tradition today, and we always will be for generations to come.
Bring them to Hall & Jones Funeral Home in Burgee, Kentucky. We let you grieve in peace instead of worrying about a heavy financial burden of burying a loved one. Here at Hall & Jones, we have multiple chapels that can accommodate any size family. We look forward to helping you and your family here at Hall & Jones. Drug today and let them fill your prescription. Eric Holman Drug has been serving the Chapmanville community for over 46 years. They're a proud supporter of the Chapmanville Tigers and all mountain athletes. And we're back here on the Startup Morning Show. JJ Pruitt, Darryl McCoy. JJ, great interview with Coach Perry.
Yeah, he's I really can't wait to see what he does this season, and I think that his resume speaks for itself. So, I mean, if you look at how many people in the comments section were bragging on, his work and stuff, like he definitely knows what he's doing.
He does. He is the best. Now, as we sit here, this segment sponsored by Hayes Training System, and we have one of the top players in the 15th region tuning in or in studio with us here. We got Jackson Estridge. Good morning, Jackson. The big morning, big news, Jackson. Just come out of Pond Creek. You recently transferred from Prestonsburg. Played your summer ball at Martin County, and just got big news yesterday that you went to Pond Creek, but got news today. Brody Little come. What are you guys doing over there?
We're just trying to change the culture and build a program with a new coach and just start something special there again.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit. You talk about your time at Prestonsburg. How when you had to take and learn under, you had 3 coaches in 3 years.
Yeah.
To talk about as a player, how hard that was, but how was you still? I mean, because you never do nothing but brag about your time at Prestonsburg. Talk about how you stayed positive through all that and how hard that is as a player to see that turnover.
I mean, it was just hard to get our feet through the door or make a push and to the districts or anything, but Prestonsburg, everybody is like family there, so we stay together easily.
You grew up at Belfry, went most of your middle school years, played at Johnson Central. Your 7th and 8th grade year, was it? 7th and 8th grade year at Johnson Central. Your time at Belfry, are you excited to be back on Pond Creek now where you started school?
I'm definitely excited. I mean, everybody's there, excited for me to come back, and it's just great to see them all again.
Now, you ended up transferring from Prestonsburg to Martin County, and Martin County, you spent this summer playing with them. Talk a little bit about your time at Martin County.
I actually really enjoyed my time at Martin County. I mean, I loved everybody there. I liked the coaching staff, but I mean, it just didn't work out for both of us.
Now, I know, one of the things that, make me respect you more than anything is, it was a situation where you're going back to Belfry on bittersweet, occasion. You're having some family stuff go on, as a young man, as 18, and, some of the circumstances around you, it's got to be heavy, as an 18-year-old to be able to carry, the situation going on, and, but putting family first. Talk about, that and, your decision, to go over to Belfry with your mama.
I mean, it's always important for me to put family and God first. I think that's more important than anything I could do on the basketball court. So it was just what's best for me.
Now, when you take and, you was a late bloomer, and when I say late bloomer, JJ, Jackson was a kid that, his sophomore year, the talent was always there, and he always had the work ethic. He was always a defensive guy. That's what, people are, know him for, his defense. But, your sophomore year, whenever you seen, it was really, that's where I think you always loved the game, but I think you really wanted to do something with basketball that after that season, when you seen your teammates, playing on the court and you not getting a chance to, and you thought, you was as good as what they was. You said that summer, I'm going to go to work, and, you spent an entire 6-7 months every day, multiple times in the gym, is when you look back, do you think that summer, your sophomore summer, do you think that's what really changed you as a player?
Yeah, it definitely was. Just getting in the gym every day and just trying to get better every day. Shout out to Braxton and Coach Keithley, let me in the gym with them all the time, and just get better that summer and pushing myself to give myself a chance to play was really what put me in the situation I am now.
Yeah, and you known as that defender. Every team you've ever been on, you've always had to be the dirty work guy, the guy that plays defense and really gets the stuff started. And I know you relish that role and you like that role. But we've seen over the last 6 months your offensive game flourish, and especially since you've been working with Coach Perry. talk about where your game's at right now, and what you think you bring to the table.
Offensively, I think I'm a great 3-level scorer. I mean, I like getting to the rim, but very good pull-up jump shooter, and I'm working on shooting better off the dribble at the 3-point line. But catch and shoot, I got it down already. So, Coach Perry's helped me a lot with ball handling and stuff, and just getting in my spots. But everything else, I've already, just kind of working on mastering my game.
And well, you're kind of a gym rat. And it's not just Coach Perry. You work with a lot of different trainers, and being able to take. Do you think it's important to be able to take and learn different pieces from different people?
Yeah. I mean, everybody that I worked with has definitely forgot more basketball than I know. So just getting in the gym with different people that work on different things and maybe know something that somebody else don't, can always help.
Terry Jackson's definitely been part of the process too, right?
Early mornings with him is always tough.
Now, whenever you sit and take it, looking this year, I know Rupp Arena was always, one of your dreams and your goals, and talk about moving over to Belfry and getting the news this morning that Brody Little has come back to Pond Creek. Do you think you guys, with the landscape of the 15th region, do you guys got an opportunity to win or compete for region?
I think we definitely do. We just got to start gelling now and put it all together. I don't think anybody would want to play us.
Now, have you got to work with the new coaching staff so far? Have you been practicing and stuff with them?
Yeah, we've had a couple practices already with me and Brody, so it's just getting in the gym with those guys is just what's going to put us in a position to win.
How do you like Coach Perry?
Coach Perry's a great coach. He's young and excited to get into it and build a program there.
And now when the one thing that stands out about me is you probably got as many fans, because most players have haters and they got fans. I'm sure you got your haters, but it seems like you got more fans than just about any kid in the region. It seems like I don't know if it's your style of play, your energy you bring, or just the type of kid you are off the floor, but. What's it mean to have that kind of support from everybody in your community?
It means a lot. I mean, I think it's really just because everybody sees me as the underdog when I play. It's just what people want to see is the underdog win. And they always want to bet on me.
Now, JJ, I'm going to let you have him for a second.
Well, Jackson, first of all, I want to say congratulations on making me feel old because, I graduated with your mom, and just to see that she has a son that's a senior in high school makes me officially feel old.
Well, she was actually pregnant with him when y'all was in school.
Yeah, I remember that. And, she's did a terrific job of raising you. She's definitely done her part. And, I'm really happy that you come home. And I just want to know what was the first? What do I want to ask you first? I got so many questions I want to go with.
While you're thinking about it, yeah. Jeremy Pinson says, welcome home. Cross Taylor says, what's up, guys? As Jeremy Pinson says, him and the Punks Tires crew is tuning in. Said, thanks, fellas, for keeping us informed. Y'all are the best around.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jeremy, we could not do what we do without Punks Tires. You are one of our GOAT sponsors here at D&D Sports Network and one of the secrets behind the success.
It's a team effort at the end of the day. But my first one is, you were probably hands down the most skilled, unselfish player that I've ever seen in my life. And so can you tell me where that comes from?
I mean, skill-wise, it's just getting in the gym and, working on getting better. But, just being unselfish, I never just had a desire to be selfish on the court. And I just always do what I can to help my team win.
Because I see you as a kid that can easily get 25 a game. And on top of that, lock down the best defender. And speaking of the 25 a game, didn't you just have a really good game, about a week ago?
I don't know.
I was talking about the Made Hoops.
Yeah, the Made Hoops Classic.
Made Hoops. Yeah, I had a good time with that camp. It was pretty good. We had a lot of good competition there and big names and stuff, and it was fun getting out there to play. But, yeah, I did perform pretty good when I was up there.
And that's one thing that I've noticed about you is, you can turn it on. It's just keeping that switch flipped consistently. I think that, when this season comes, if you continue to be aggressive, I think that you guys are going to do really big things. And if you had to think of one thing that you would feel that your roster needs right now to put you over the hump to make you a legit contender? What do you think it would be? Do you think it's just chemistry gelling together, or do you think that you may be missing one piece? Like, what would you say is the one thing that could get you guys over the hump?
If we added a piece, we'd need either some size or just a knockdown shooter. But I think we just got to get in the gym and get stronger and more athletic as a team.
What about your bench? Could you tell me, like, do you think that you guys are going to have a solid bench, like a couple, like
I think we got a lot of good depth at Belfry. We got good guard play, and then there's good athletes coming in from football as always. But I think we got a lot of depth there.
Well, I think that you're going to have some football players, but I imagine that you may have a couple of people following you to Belfry, like on top of what you already have, because you're a terrific player and you're definitely somebody everybody wants to play with.
Yeah, I could definitely see it everywhere I go. I mean, people always want to play with me.
Yeah.
Now, whenever you take and look at Belfry, what as a person and a player, what do you got to work on to make sure that this team reaches where it needs to go?
I got to work on being more of a leader, being more vocal on the court and off the court, just getting the guys ready to play and getting them in the right spot when they're in the game, and just being more of a leader is really what I got to work on.
Now, you've took and I know last night, you had some coaches reach out to you and invited you to their elite camp. Seems like last week you've had 4 or 5 of them, still looking for that first offer. But if you had to say, to a college coach what you bring to the table, what is Jackson Estridge on the court, and how can you help a college team?
On the court, I'm going to be the hardest worker. I mean, I'm going to bring energy to the team, make everybody play better, and just do what I can to help us win.
Well, the JJ, as we sit here, I know it's always I'll let you ask your 2 fan questions first, and then I'll get into the fan questions with you.
Okay. If you could attend one sporting event throughout history to where you could have seen it live, which one would it have been?
I don't know. I think 2016 finals, 3-1 comeback.
He might be the 4th kid that has said that.
Yeah,
that's just the first thing I can think of.
I mean, hey, I can understand that completely. And if you can match up against anybody throughout like history, who would it have been?
Kevin Durant.
KD.
Sure.
Oh, that's a good pick.
You want that smoke?
No. I just want to see what level he really is. Like
NBA. Now here goes the fan question. Everybody wants to know, what's your favorite shoe, Jackson Estridge?
Favorite shoe?
Yeah.
Probably I like Jordan 11s. It's favorite to look at. But to play in, I like. Right now, I'm playing in LeBron 21s a lot because I feel good on the court.
The high top or low top Jordan 11s?
Oh, high top. Sure.
Okay.
What's your favorite cereal?
Cereal? Captain Crunch, probably.
Oh, there's first Captain Crunch. Yeah.
Okay.
As we move, what's your favorite sports movie?
Remember the Titans was a good one. I remember. Coach Carter.
All right. Celebrity crush.
Sydney Sweeney.
Okay. If I was to look through Jackson Estridge's playlist, who are the top 3 artists that we need to listen to?
My top 3, probably Future, The Weeknd, and I don't know my top 3. I'll say Kendrick Lamar right now.
Okay.
I can rock with that playlist.
Yeah, I don't know. Who is it Kendrick Lamar is in war with? Is it Kanye?
Drake.
Drake, yeah. So as if you've played at Prestonsburg, Martin County, and now Belfry, if you were stranded at sea and had to take 3 players with you, who would they be?
Stranded at sea?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely taking Braxton.
I don't think Braxton can help you at sea.
Nah, give me,
he'd keep you motivated.
Yeah. Connor Napier.
All right.
What was that one kid's name that you said worked in the coal mines that it was his teammate?
I don't know if he'd know much about
but
he'd
be a hard worker. I mean,
yeah.
Probably Connor Napier and Caden Allen. They're both smart. And then Strong guys.
Okay. The who's the third?
Third, shoot. I say Devin Maynard. He's a blue collar boy.
Yeah.
He'd help us out.
Okay, there we go. The now as I look at the comment sections up there, the Brianna Deska says Grant Varney could definitely help you out.
Oh yeah, Grant Varney definitely could. Salisbury is another one.
Well, what about Caleb Lawson? Could he entertain you?
He could probably jump up and grab a coconut for us to drink.
He can play guitar.
Yeah, he can play guitar.
Entertainment.
The Cross Taylor says he's on board with you, Jackson, with Sydney Sweeney. So as we move on, if Jackson Escher could play any other sport, what would it be?
Volleyball's fun. Pickleball. It's the only other one I play.
Well, volleyball, there is men's volleyball in the 15th region now.
Is it really?
Yeah, Pikeville is Pikeville. I don't know if there's any in the 15th besides Pikeville. I think Pikeville's the only 15th. Somebody can let us know. But Jackson, leave us with some words of advice here. Just talk about this season here and what do you hope from your senior year?
I'm just hoping to put my team in a position to have a good chance at making a run to Rupp Arena and give ourselves a chance. That's just all I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm. Well, we see Sharon Estridge says, I thank you so much for coming to Belfry so you can help me out. Love you and can't wait to see you today.
Love you. Thank you, everybody.
And the Jackson, want to thank you again for joining us here on the Startup Show. Big fans here. Keep doing what you're doing, man. You're on the right path. And again, there's no way in my mind that anybody can tell me that you're not a top 5 player in the 15th region. Keep proving doubters wrong, and just keep your nose to the ground, son.
Thank you. Also, shout out Ethan Lance. I was told to say that.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Okay.
The Ethan Lance, New Betsy Lane guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more. And guys, we got a ton to talk about. Come right back and join us here on the Startup Morning Show with JJ Pruitt and Darryl McCoy.
Oceana Discount Tobacco today. Nobody can beat Oceana Discount Tobacco's great prices or their great services. You're treated like family from the second you walk through the door. We want to thank Oceana Discount Tobacco for sponsoring today's events. Go follow them on Facebook. Pass, bring them to Hall & Jones Funeral Home in Virgie, Kentucky. We let you grieve in peace instead of worrying about a heavy financial burden of burying a loved one. Here at Hall & Jones, we have multiple chapels that can accommodate any size family. We look forward to helping you and your family here at Hall & Jones.
And we're back here on the Startup Morning Show. JJ Pruitt, Darryl McCoy, JJ, 2 great guests.
Man, and the one I'm most excited about was Jackson. I finally got a chance to interview him. He's going to do really big things this season.
Well, this segment sponsored by Logan Bank and Trust. And, I got a little taste and a little peek at the Cat's Paws top 10 in teams and players in the 15th region. And I tell you this, I think they absolutely blew it. I think there's 2 or 3 kids that that's on there that there's definitely 2 or 3 kids that should be ahead of them. I think they left a couple out, but there's no way in the world you can say that kid right now ain't the top 5 kid in his region.
Especially with his ability to, get you 25 a game and then lock down your best defender or your best offensive player on the other end.
It's tough for me to say it because he's my son, but he's probably the most complete player in the region.
Yeah.
On both ends, sharing the basketball. They said the only thing he's got to work on is leadership.
Yeah, that and just being more aggressive. I mean, he can turn it on and he can get you 25. It's just keeping that switch flipped. and just going hard all the time. Like he's got it for sure.
Well, and he was telling us, during commercial break, he said he was excited, because, he feels he has, now with Zay Drash and Brody Little, feels they make up the best backcourt in the region is what, he says, and that kind of confidence, you got to like seeing that. And then he said in Carter Jude, he said that young man, he said, people's going to be really shocked with Carter's play. And then he was talking about his role players. He said Bryce Hagee, Dante Davis, Hunter Hilton, and said JB Woolham. He said that Coach Perry's building a squad there.
Well, another thing about Jackson that stands out is not only can he get you 25, but he's very efficient. He don't take many bad shots, and his percentage is usually is pretty high.
JJ, we got a lot of comments. Gary Rash says, "Welcome back, Brody Little and Jackson Estridge." Terry Jackson says, "Use the game to your advantage." Carl Little tuning in, and he said that that they feel Belfry's style of play is suited better for Brody Little. Brianna Daskin says very improved sophomore season to now, especially with the ball handling, and that was the big thing with him, is just getting him more, making sure that he was more comfortable with the basketball. Because he's never been the guy, he's always been the guy that helps the guy.
I feel like he's more like a Klay Thompson, like he was back then,
Yeah, he was more like Klay, and now he's funny. He's I don't really know how to explain him. He's a lot like. It's hard to say. If you was going to say like his game, and I don't want to say, it's not, to that level. We're not putting, but if you were just describe his game, a lot like Kobe, he uses fadeaways a lot. He gets to the rim. He can knock down 3-pointers. Yeah. So, something. Yeah. He's a really good defender and good player, but enough about that. Let's move on. So we'll definitely took look at who, let's see. Good job. So we'll definitely look who his dad is. So, I would love to see everything happen for that kid. He's been through so much. So, I really hope a good season for him, and I would do everything in my possibility to make it happen. All right, JJ, that brings us, UPike released their jerseys yesterday.
Oh, for which sport?
Basketball.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Keem Warks, Bradley Bunch, Zion Blevins. Let's see if Wade Pelfrey, did not know he was at UPike. Jalen Rigdon, Aiden Barnett, Nick Robinson, Cade Looney, Ethan Colgrove. Listen, Mountain basketball fans, get out and check out the Bears. A load of Mountain talent on them. I cannot wait to watch Ty Compton's crew this year.
That's what I was about to ask you. Like, how many people on this roster are people that we would have covered?
Well, let's see, 3. The 3 at the bottom, which is Colgrove, Looney, Robinson, covered all of them. Barnett covered him. Rigdon covered him. Let's see, Wade Pelfrey covered him. Keem Warks covered him. And Zion Blevins covered him.
So over half.
Yeah, over half of them. Yeah. So a lot of reasons to watch the Bears this year. JJ, did you see Blair Witch Project? The Blair Witch Project, to me, I remember when I actually, a little 6 degree separation, I went and watched the Blair Witch Project with Brody Little's dad. And it's funny that the news was broke today, but I watched it in Charleston. Trying to think, I can't remember the year it come out, but we went to Charleston, watched it at the new theater there whenever it just opened. We went and watched it there. So, but Blair Witch Project, the actors are coming out, and now they're suing Lionsgate for lost compensation. Tell us a little bit about the case here.
Well, obviously in 1999, The Blair Witch was a very controversial film. I remember when it came out, like a lot of Christians were saying, don't go watch this film because of, because of the devil and things like that.
It was really the logo.
Yeah. but it actually turned out to be a really good film for the time period.
No, it didn't. It was horrible.
I thought
it was horrible, JJ.
It stood the test of time. Here we are 20 some years later still talking about it. But it was shot on a $30,000 to $60,000 budget, and it ended up
$35,000 is what they spent on the budget.
Yeah, which is crazy, and they ended up grossing over $250 million. Well, fast forward to 20 plus years later, some of these actors are still not receiving that much money. They got a lump sum of like $300,000 a piece. And then after that, this company's still making money off of them, and they're trying to sue to get more money.
They only got $1,500. The actors, if I'm not mistaken, only got $1,500 when they did it, JJ.
Yeah, well, that's what they originally got. But I think that fast forward a little bit into the future, they all ended up getting a certain amount of money, in exchange for their name and likeliness, like the rights to be able to continue to, do the films and stuff. And it ended up being like $300,000 for each person. But, for the foreseeable future, for any Blair Witch projects that are made, they can't get any more money out of it. And that's the main issue with them right now.
Well, and the thing is, they're wanting, it's starting to resurge as it's come on Netflix. That's what's brought it all up again.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, wait, we only got paid $1,500. Let's go back and figger out, a way to compensate us in the right way. Jason Blair says he didn't get his cut either. So well,
what happened was they ended up getting a buyout.
Yeah.
And, that's pretty much what their problem is, because it's now like they're wanting to reboot the franchise.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they're going to have any kind of say-so over it. And that's one of the problems. Which, I mean, it's another example of signing like a bad contract.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you agree to the buyout. So now, like, for the foreseeable future, you have to accept the fact that they're going to continue to try to make money off of this, even though you don't have any rights to it.
Yeah, it goes back to the case that we was talking about with Jerry Jones. The lady agreed to a non-disclosure and he paid her off, and now she's wanting to come back and get money.
Yeah.
It's a little different because her daughter's wanting to come back and get money from him. But, I get what you're saying, though.
And even like in the music industry, like if you look at the girl group TLC back in the day,
yep.
They were selling one of their albums with Diamond sold over 10 million copies, but they got like maybe $1,500 a piece or $2,000 a piece from them.
Yeah.
Because of, the record deal that they signed that was awful. Or even, Scottie Pippen, whenever he signed his deal with the Chicago Bulls, like he signed a contract because he wanted guaranteed money.
Yeah.
And then whenever the league expanded, he wanted to negotiate his contract, but it was like, look, you already signed this.
Yeah.
You have to honor it.
Yep. You see it all the time, but it'd be interesting to see where that case goes.
Mm-hmm.
Brianna Deskins messages in and she says said the only thing that hurts Estridge is because of who his dad is. Yeah, that's the part that's tough for me is, I see my son get crapped on a lot, because, these other media outlets won't cover him because he's mine, and, and he don't get the accolades that he should, Now I think the coaches, they'll end up giving him what they deserve, but, he it's rare. And I want to give a shout out to Steve LeMaster. He done a good job last year, make sure he was in the paper and stuff, but he's always been like that short end of the stick because, other media outlets won't post about him. And then I've never posted about him. He's been on D&D more this year than he's ever been on D&D his whole life. And, so, he's kind of got everything going against him.
Yeah.
So like he said, true underdog story.
It's a tough situation because at the end of the day, like, no matter what opinion that you give, they're going to be like, oh, he's being biased.
Yep.
But me personally, I went back and watched the tape and I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like,
I'm harder on him than I am anybody. So.
Yeah. This kid is really good. Like he's a highly skilled offensive player. He's a phenomenal defender, and he clearly showed what he's capable of at the camp a week ago. Like he showed, like, look, if you put me up against the best competition, this is what's going to happen. I mean, I'm going to show you that I can play.
Yep, that's it. Moving on from that, Cam from Pikeville, guys. Cam Roberts, you've seen Cam Roberts many times here on D&D. Big shout out to Cam as
Trying to find out here exactly the name of the tournament. The Pikeville's Cam Roberts shoots a 3-under to win the PLD Invitational at Kearney Hills. He has committed to Coastal Carolina. He's the one that I told you, JJ. He could be Cam Roberts could be a professional golfer. This kid is that good. I promise you'll see this kid on the PGA one day.
And golf is such a tough sport. Like, a lot of people don't realize how tough it is. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that will make the debate on whether or not golf is a true sport.
Yep.
I challenge you to go out there and play 18 holes. And then whenever you're finished and, and actually walk the course like some of these professionals do and see if you can do it, to see how effective you really are.
Well, it'll be interesting, and like I said, we've had a lot of good golfers. A lot of people don't remember Davy Jude from over here. He led Tug Valley to a state championship in golf before he ended up going to Martin County. But, when you just take a look, the sport of golf is really picking up. I'm seeing a lot of players. I've seen a lot of players that even quit. I know some players that's quit other main sports just to play golf.
Yeah. And the only thing that's frustrating about golf is how expensive of a sport that it can be. Because you probably have a lot of people out there that could be really good at it, but there's not as many opportunities to play because of how expensive some of these courses can be and the training and stuff can be.
Yeah, absolutely. Now another shout out, another Pikeville Panther. I always say you go to Pikeville, big things happen. Pikeville offers their kids a lot of opportunity, and you don't see a lot of kids fail at life. It goes to Pikeville for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but they do things right there at Pikeville. Cassidy Slater, national game day cheerleading champion at the D1A level for Tennessee. She got her ring for her national championship the other day. Congratulations, Cassidy Slater, one of our prides of the mountains here.
That is terrific. And again, cheerleading is one of those sports I think it's disrespected a lot by a lot of people. And I think that it's, it should get more recognition.
Well, I'll tell you what else should get more recognition. I see her there flashing her medal. Put some respect on this baby, JJ.
I mean, it's impressive. But, I think that one might be just a little more impressive.
National cheerleading champ is more impressive than Soaky Mountain Cannonball champ. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I don't take it personally, but I'm going to have to say that it is.
Congratulations, Cassie Slater. Another thing, the Pikeville Panthers, I'm pretty sure they got a cheerleader that cheers for Alabama too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So big shout out.
Yeah.
Scott High School has a cheerleader that's going there to cheer too. Lyric, girl, we covered quite a bit. Here she'll be going in cheering. She had all kinds of Division I. I thought she was going to go to the Naval Academy, but she ended up going to Alabama. So look forward to seeing her on the sidelines.
No, that's terrific.
Yeah. So we're going to take our last commercial break. We'll be right back. Final segment here on the Startup Morning Show. JJ Pruitt and Darryl McCoy.
Started right here on this farm. We may have grown over the years, but we've never lost sight of what was important to us. We're continuing that tradition today, and we always will be for generations to come.
Incorporated Little Flower Clinic announcing help needed. We're seeking donations of gift cards to help us make a difference for our homeless and at-risk patients. Gift cards will be used for new clothing, new underwear, and personal hygiene items. If you're interested in helping, please contact us. Call Kendra Cole at 606-487-9505, extension 342, or mail your gift cards to Little Flower Clinic, 279 East Main Street, Hazard, Kentucky, 41701.
And we are back here on the Startup Morning Show. JJ Pruitt and Darryl McCoy got a little tongue-tied there, JJ.
Hey, you channeled your inner Sean Connery is what it was.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
The JJ, Joe Biden Joe Biden is trying to, these last 6 months, he said he wants to get some things done in office that he hasn't the previous 3.5 years. So,
What did he get done in the last 60 days?
Well, what he's trying to really run on his last few months and that he's wanting to get done is he wants to put term limits on the Supreme Court. And the other thing is politicians, he's wanting to take and make sure that they don't have immunity.
That may be two things that I actually agree with that he's attempting to do, but that may be probably the only two things that I agree with. I mean, I think that if you commit a crime, that you should be held accountable for whatever crime it is that you commit, and also the term limits. You got to change those. I don't think that somebody should automatically be guaranteed a lifetime, seat. And I think that, like, you've got some of these politicians that have been, in power for 40 years. It's like at some point, like, the only way that things are going to evolve is if you give somebody else an opportunity, because there may be somebody else out there that has more fresh ideas that tailor more to the upcoming generations than what you can do.
You cannot go back and do that. Like Joe Biden, I do not see this happening.
I don't think that,
because it's in the Constitution. You cannot change the Constitution, JJ.
I mean, I still disagree with it. I mean, I don't think that people should be able to have a lifetime seat. I mean, I think that, like, if the only way that you're ever going to have change, regardless of which side of the field that you're on politically, is if you do make some changes. I mean, it's just like with the presidential terms. I mean, if you're going to say, look, no president can run or be elected beyond 8 years, why can't you make a tweak to some of these other positions and say, you know what, you can't be here for 50 or 60 years.
And I don't agree with not giving president, like, a president should have immunity, I think, always. And I know that's going to come back to bite a lot of them because, but here's the thing. When you're in office, sometimes you have to do some dirty stuff to get things done. And like the stuff Trump taking classified documents back to his home, okay, the man was working at home, and you're going to take and indict this man for that. I just, stuff like that is why I think immunity is, important for presidents.
Well, I mean, but at the same time, like, you may have somebody out there that takes that immunity too far. I mean, you just never know.
You'll have people that does it, but I don't know what the median is for that, but I say right now, leave it alone until we figure out what the median is. But I still don't like the Supreme Court. I agree with your premises that there should be term limits, but I still believe in the Constitution.
I believe in the Constitution as well, but I also understand that the Constitution was written 200 years ago. And it's like, whenever they were writing it, you had a group of people that were, 20s and 30s that were putting this together. And it's like, okay, was this put together and meant to stay the exact way that it was when it was written? Or was it put together to give people an opportunity in the future to try to make it better?
Nah.
Because there are some things that
you don't change the Constitution. You don't change Constitution.
We'll just have to agree to disagree.
No, our forefathers fought for it. They got it there. So
you don't think that there's anything in the Constitution that can be tweaked to be a little bit better for
I'm sure there is, but it's still the Constitution. Our soldiers fought for it. They died for it. Leave it alone. That's just my opinion.
Well,
but
that's the beauty of America. We have the ability to disagree and still be friends.
There you go. The KCC, not County Central, just got their new field, and it is immaculate. Check this baby out, JJ.
Ooh, wow. Is this...
That's their new football field.
That's a really nice field.
Yeah, Coach Ambergy was nice enough to get us this picture over. I'm so happy for the kids there in Hyman because they've been through so much with floods. They had teammates that passed away. I mean, these last 2-3 years have been brutal on the Hyman community. And, their basketball court got wiped out. Thank God they had some great people that stepped up, built them a new basketball court, and it looks better than ever. They already have one of the best gyms in the mountains, but now they got a new updated court, and it looks beautiful in there.
That is
now
nice.
Their football field matches.
Wow, that is beautiful. And like you said, if they've been through that much stuff, it's well deserved.
Yeah. The JJ, we got somebody messaging in on YouTube and says all the players say their celebrity crush. Want to know your celebrity crush? Who is your celebrity crush?
Yvonne Strahovski.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, either her or probably Shannon Elizabeth from my childhood. The American Pie character. Those would probably be my two.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll save that topic for another day. But we was talking yesterday things that you was told as a kid that that you was told would happen, or if you done something would happen, and it never come true that your grandparents tell you. For example, if you're on the telephone when it lightnings, or TV's on when it's lightning, or you're in the shower when it's lightning, that you'll get struck by lightning. And one that my mom used to tell me is not to stand there and watch your food in the microwave. She'd say there's little men that would come out and attack your brain. What do you remember any?
I remember a couple. I mean, I can get to the ones that I was told by my teachers.
Yeah.
But if I go with my parents, I would say coffee stunning your growth.
How much coffee did you drink, JJ?
I didn't drink any. Look at me. All voice, no body. Literally.
You know any more?
Whenever I was growing up in school, I was always told that, you go to school, you graduate, you go to college, you get your education, you get your degree, and then when you get your degree, you get you a good paying job, and then you get you a nice house, and then you can live the American dream. No, there's no accuracy to that at all in today's time period.
Well, I think everybody's grandpa always had the saying, if you do something, it'd make you go blind. I don't think anybody went blind. So,
that was that one too.
Yeah. But JJ, as we're moving on today, want to remind people, what's happening in the Olympics. Big matchup. USA versus Sudan.
Rematch.
Yeah, at 3:00 today, it's the rematch. First game was a 100-101 win for Team USA. LeBron hit the buzzer beater. Is this game closer? Or is this game not as close?
I think Team USA is going to come out and make it a point to show, look, we are the best in the world. But at the same time, I think that this team is going to go down swinging. And I can see it being maybe a 15-point game. Instead of being just a 1-point game, I can see it maybe 15 points tops. But I think that this team is going to come out and they're going to go down swinging.
Team USA puts a 30 spot on them.
I don't think it's going to happen.
They're coming out on a mission this game. I'm not going to say they're going to win gold. That's still up to debate. But they put a 30 spot on South Sudan.
We shall see. Is Jason Tatum going to play this time? I'd be like,
well, that brings up, how in the world do you not play Jason Tatum?
I think the biggest problem is he had so many good players on the roster. I think that he just forgot he was on the bench. Because you think about it, he just won the championship, arguably the second best player on the team, for that specific series. But I really just believe that he was like, look, I got Anthony Edwards, I got Steph Curry, I got Kevin Durant, I got LeBron James. Wait, is there anybody else? No, I'm good with these guys, right? I don't need.
It's crazy that Jason Tatum did not get any court time.
I really believe that he forgot he was on the bench.
I do too.
Yeah, that's what I would say if I was him.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's tough, though. If you're Jason Tatum, I'm furious.
And then Kevin Durant goes out and puts on a masterclass coming in off the bench.
Yeah.
Scoring, what he scored?
21.
21 in the first half.
He had 23.
8 for 8, 5 for 5 from the three-point line. It's like, well, either he was going to – if I was him, I'd either use the excuse I forgot he was on the bench, or I would say, you know what? I know you've had a long season. You made it all the way to the finals and then ended up winning. You might be a little tired, a little fatigued. let me let you sit out this game because we're going to win it anyways, and have you ready for whenever we play a big game.
Look at all these notable people tuning in. Nick Knox from Phelps, Kiara Thornsberry, Division I Hooper.
Oh, yeah.
Jonah Bartley from Shelby Valley. Hillary Hayes from Hayes Training System.
That's a lot of people.
Freddie Pinson, one of the biggest Belfry fans you'll see. He said, good to see our homegrown talent back on Pond Creek. And
Absolutely.
Jason Blair. Look this up for Jason Blair's. Winion Gabriel, former UK star on South Sudan's team, JJ.
Gabriel that played on South Sudan, okay.
It says that Winion Gabriel is on South Sudan. Now, guys, as the Olympics continue tonight, America, as we mentioned earlier, only 4 gold medals, 26 medals overall. If America, is it a failure, JJ, if America it loses in the gold medal count? Is it a failure for U.S.?
I think that we just need to be more accepting to the fact that we have maybe 5 or 6 sports that we focus on primarily, and then all the other ones like ping pong or breakdancing or curling, whatever these other sports are that people are playing, we just don't focus on them as much. We're predominantly known for gymnastics, swimming, track and field, maybe wrestling, basketball.
Okay.
If I'm missing a couple, please,
I think this Cody Little says he is. What does that say, JJ?
Yeah, it says that he played college basketball for UK and a South Sudanese American professional basketball player, so he may be on the roster.
Well, look up the roster. It's easy.
Oh,
South Sudan roster.
I typed in his name as South Sudan, so let me see.
As Daniel Williams says, he's watching from Richmond, Kentucky. Daniel, we've had a great show. Make sure you continue to tune in every weekday morning from 8 to 10. And Winion Gabriel is on South Sudan's team. As I look here, I'm trying to see if there's any other names. Mayok Dang. I'm sure he's something.
What if he's getting the luau?
He has to be because Luau Dang owns the team.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he is. And Kwani. Yes, no Kwani. Bull Quo, know him. So I know 3 or 4 of these South Sudan players.
Kwani.
Yeah. So but guys, it's come to that end of the show. Want to thank you guys for tuning in, guys. You mean the world to us. 8 to 10, starting your morning every morning here with the Startup Morning Crew. JJ Pruitt, Darryl McCoy. We're hoping that we bring things to your attention that you may miss. We bring some stories, we get some viewpoints, and we hope you guys engage, in the comment section or call the hotline. Absolutely. And let us know what your thoughts are on the topics, because at the end of the day, you guys are what makes this show so special, not us. Yeah. But guys, tomorrow we will have Williamson Daily News sports writer Jared McCormick joining us at 8:30.
Really?
And we don't know who the guest at 9:15 is, but we'll release it later tonight.
I never know until in the morning.
That's it for JJ Pruitt and Darryl McCoy. You're watching the Startup Morning Show, sponsored by Punk's Tires in Virgie, Kentucky.